Welcome, welcome to Living and Loving Each Day. My name is Sue Jansen, and I'm so glad that you joined us today. This is actually the eclipse, so I'm not sure where you're looking, but stop it. Don't be looking up. Where I'm sitting actually in Western Canada, and my guest, she'll tell us where she's actually sitting in physically in a second. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to ask you to get ready to embark on a journey of creativity and of innovation with our esteemed guest on the podcast today. And I'd like to introduce you to Parchelle Tashi. I want to make sure I say that right. She's an award-winning creative educator, and whose passion and expertise are reshaping the landscape of authorship and Arthur. I'm reading this all wrong here. I don't like reading my intros, but I need to get it all right. So this is what happened. So it's her authorship. Why? How do you say that? It's not
Authorship?
coming out. Authorship, yeah, and education, authorship. When you see that written, it's not a word I usually use, authorship. A writer, right? An educator. So with an unparalleled knack for turning best-selling books into immersive digital experiences, Parchella stands at the forefront of a revolution in content monetization and impact creation. So she's a creator. Her collective her collective approach with authors transcends traditional boundaries, and she empowers them to transform literary masterpieces into premium, profitable digital workbooks and learning experiences. So, we talk a lot on this podcast about confidence on camera, but we're also talking about confidence with your voice and hearing your voice. So, that's why she's here today, because she wants to get your voices out there too. So, throughout our conversation, Parchelle will illuminate the boundless opportunities that lie within our voices, urging us to explore and harness our unique abilities for personal and professional growth. So join us today as we delve into the art of repurposing, of monetizing, and amplifying. Amplify maybe the eclipse has something to do with my mouth workage today. It's not working, but just in the world of potential for both creators and for learners alike. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen, and prepare yourself, because I want to introduce again Parchelle Tashi. And welcome, welcome here. I'm so glad that you're here visiting. Where are you from, Parchelle? Where are you sitting?
Thanks, Susan. I am currently in Las Vegas. I've been living here. It'll be close to a year and a few months, but I'm here in Las Vegas.
Awesome, awesome. So I know. So, and you're not getting the eclipse, because I don't think you are. You getting it there?
I don't think it's been like a total
No,
eclipse. Yeah, for sure. I think it's probably likely happening around now. I think, or that window is just about ending for when it.
I think so. Yeah, it was up in Ottawa, Ontario. Like, I'm in Canada. I'm in Western Canada by the Rocky Mountains, but it was we're the partial eclipse. I think I missed it, but it was that fast that I didn't even notice it. But the total eclipse is in Ottawa, just around the Great Lakes there. So we're
Wow.
way too far north. You're too far south. So thank you for being here today. And I want you to just kind of share with us, like, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into sharing, and about the audiobooks, and how you're doing what you're doing, and why your passion is there today.
Thanks for asking, Susan, and again, excited to be here. My background really goes back to my days as a school teacher. So I used to be a high school teacher. I did that for about 8 years, and then all along that time, I was always doing something creative, visual, if you will, for a number of churches and organizations that I was a part of. And so my entrepreneurship journey started very uniquely in the sense that someone just asked me, "I saw what you did for the church. Can you do it for my business? We
Mhm.
need help too." And that's when this light bulb went off, if you will. I had not seen entrepreneurship in a creative manner. A lot of the entrepreneurship that I saw was more hands labor, contracting, just some other type of way of of being an entrepreneur. And so, long story short, this set me on a journey in which I really delved into a lot of my creative skills and abilities. I started out as a videographer, also doing graphic design, website design, a number of things at that time. This was back in, gosh, I think it was like 2011 is
Yep.
when I started that. Um, and essentially I started to learn more about production. So over time, I became a video producer of a number of different projects across the country that were either in a corporate environment or for a team or for an actual organization that wanted to promote a message like a nonprofit. So I was involved in a number of those over the years, and so what's interesting, because I also have a background in curriculum and instruction. I have a master's degree in that from school also. And so during that pandemic is when I really sat with really what is the most my highest contribution to others, and I saw it was in this lane of skill set and experience that I had in both video production, curriculum development, and in online and digital marketing. And so all those came together, and I really found myself committed to a community of authors, experts, teachers, thought leaders. And so essentially I am their producer. So if let's say you talk to a Brene Brown or, a Mel Robbins or even a Lovey, these folks are my clients and I'm their producer. And so I help to produce learning assets for them. And these learning assets they leverage in their business in a number of ways to further their message and their body of work. So long story short, that's how I got into this space. It was just really just something I feel like I just was just walking along this path, not really sure where the pieces connected, especially when I quit teaching high school, because it wasn't something that I aspired to do. I mean, I enjoyed my work and what I was doing, but an opportunity was there, and I didn't know exactly what was on the other side. But I knew that I wanted to teach on my own terms. That was really the focus and the desire that I had at that time. So I'm very fortunate I still get to do that. And I get to do that alongside other amazing teachers and thought leaders.
Mm. Oh, no, that's amazing. And that's quite the journey. I mean, that's a beautiful journey. And like you said, you're still on that same journey, but just in a different way. So what's the number one thing that you're doing like for ebooks? So how are you helping people do whatever you do in that vein?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not up with on ebooks. I haven't, I'd love to do voiceover kind of stuff and read people's books, but I don't. I have a happiness ebook, free one, but I don't have other than that. That's all I have.
gotcha. Well, what I love, you mentioned ebook, you mentioned audiobook, you've mentioned a number of different types of learning assets. And so, as a business owner or anyone that has a message to share, learning assets take on a lot of different forms and shapes and sizes, if you will. Ebooks are types of learning assets. Online courses, most are familiar with in terms of something that you can consume online as to learn or develop a skill. In particular, what we have been focused on at my company is a new type of learning asset. This type of learning asset is called a digital workbook. It is a completely different spin on, if you will, like your traditional PDF or even an online course. Right now, online courses in a number of ways that are the types of learning assets that are available today are not really effective, if you will. I'll ask you and anyone else listening today, the last online course that you purchased, I can bet you didn't finish it. I can bet you didn't feel like you got your money's worth in it. You know what I mean? There's a number of things that are challenging, not so much because of you as the learner, that something is wrong with you, or even that something is wrong with the teacher, right? The medium and the asset with which we are learning and trying to gain that skill is lacking in today's availability of learning assets. So I've developed with a tech company a learning asset called a digital workbook. And what it does is it allows for a user to be in their own personalized workspace,
Yeah.
to receive video or communication or leading through some exercise in a multimedia format. And then on that same page, have the space to reflect by answering questions. Maybe there's steps that they need to take and reflect on. All of it is available in this one tool. So again, it's a very different concept, if you will, on how we have traditionally seen learning assets be available for folks. A book is a type of learning asset. You mentioned that, an ebook, right? These are all different
Mm.
types. This is just another one
Wow.
that educator myself and someone who's been in production and a part of a number of learning environments and experiences, what I feel like is a really strong positioning for the future of how we are meant to learn, because we're craving personalized experiences. We're craving the ability to, like, essentially learn while you are doing, right? And essentially
Using all modalities. You're using more, you're not just watching somebody or just writing into something. So you're using all your modalities. I think that's why sounds like it's really effective.
yes. Yes. If you imagine it's the difference between reading about riding a bike or watching a lot of YouTube videos about riding a bike, and then very different when you are actually on the bike and you're learning and doing, right? And for those of us who really want to develop in certain skill sets, if there's a skill that's between where you are and where you want to be in any stage of your life or business, it's going to come through some type of a learning experience that takes into consideration how we learn and how it is that we can best be in the working and the doing while we are learning, right?
Mm,
Imagine in the day when you went to kindergarten or in elementary school, you showed up to school with excitement. You weren't
mm.
necessarily about, oh, we're learning about this today. You showed up with excitement and you were there to learn, but you were also very much a participant in that.
Yeah. And it's nice that we want to know everyone learns differently, like you said. So this way you're actually capturing all the different ways so that you're not leaving anybody out. I think that's kind of primarily why yours is such a good holistic model, I think. That sounds great.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy and excited to play in this world
Yeah.
and really reshape again like how we're learning today.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I have to talk to you because I'm doing a course on happiness. So we'll have to, we'll have to chat because I have, what I've done in the past, and that's the PowerPoint and the coaching, but it's with the group, like group coaching and then individual as well. But I mean, I'd love to hear more about. Can you give us a sample, or is there a place that you can go to get like a sample of what you're doing? Is that on your website?
Yeah, it is over on the website. If you go to theauthorsleverage.com, that's where you'll see, I believe it's on the offers page. You get to see an example there. And over in the next few weeks, we are going to have an actual, our very first one that people can actually download and utilize on their own for free. So that's going to be available soon. So whenever you're hearing this, go and at least see.
Oh,
Whoops.
I lost her.
Go and see a view of what one looks like, and then that you can actually download.
Awesome. Thank you. That and your website is in the description notes. So people make sure you go there to check that out. I think that would be nice. Whoops. Oh dear. This is tough because she's sitting on her way to the airport in Las Vegas. So I wonder if she'll come back on. There she is. Let's get her back in here.
Yeah.
Don't this is you're freaking out the podcast host. I know, but it's okay. I know it's not your fault. I'm glad you're back. Thank you. Thank you. So what if you're directing comments just primarily to the authors who are people who are producing or want production, do you have anything to share with us? Like how would they start to even find you, or to what would be the first steps?
Yeah, exactly. I definitely recommend a conversation. I love to just have an initial conversation with folks just to understand, what is the impact you want to make this year or in the next 5 years? What is the community that you are committed to in this time? What body of work or learning assets do you currently have? These are the questions that I'm usually asking up front anyway, just kind of get a feel for where you're at and what you're looking to accomplish. What I love to do from there is actually get us together to create a plan. I call this a leverage plan. And the reason why I have this plan in place before we even develop any kind of digital workbook or some other type of learning asset, we really want to understand it. Looking at your body of work, again, answering those questions, what is going to be your quickest and most profitable path to impact and profit? And so we want to have a strategy in play before we even build it out. And so with our team strategists, we're actually able to identify with all of our clients what we call leverage plays. 4 different types of leverage plays that you can have in your mind right as we're developing this product, because guess what, you can start to have those conversations now, right? And so these 4 leverage plays that we identify are a B2C, business to consumer leverage play. This is what we're most familiar with, I believe, right? You have one product and you're selling this to so many people on your website or what have you, or if you meet someone in person, right? More one-to-one engagements. From there, we also identify a B2B play, business to business. Who are the affiliates? Who are the people that are also serving your audience that you can become a complement to, or they can become a complement to yours? We want to identify who are those really strong and really well aligned relationships that can be built in a B2B play. We also look at the third play was a B2E play, a business to enterprise. This is the
Oh,
one area or leverage point that a lot of us as authors and experts don't really consider, right? In
no,
other words, there is a larger organization who, let's say, has thousands of team members or has a team or a community of, let's say, 500 people, 200 people, if you will. They have a need for your learning. They have a need for your wisdom to be implemented in some aspect of their growth. And so having what I call an enterprise play, a B2E play, is essential. So we also help you to identify those plays with your learning. And then lastly, the fourth play that we identify is what we call an experience play. How can your work be reimagined as an experience? And a lot of us may be already doing this. These could be workshops, webinars. They can also be retreats, community conversations, town halls, things that you want to do to, again, have a way in which through your body of work in this type of asset can impact people in person or bringing people together, because community is always going to still be a part of what we need going forward. And it's essentially also a huge part of how we learn. But those things we identify before we create the product. So that would be my advice as well to anyone who's listening in. Have a strong and strategic plan about where your learning asset is going to live. Because the last thing you want to do is to have another book that's on Amazon, to have another PDF that's somewhere, to have another ebook that's, that's just hanging out, nothing wrong with those things. But again, we want to be effective. We want to really be thinking about what is a really strong product learning experience, if you will, that can be created for your audience.
oh, I love it. And it's a new vision. I mean, I haven't heard this before. So, I mean, I'm excited for you. This is really exciting to have just a new path. But again, it's a lot of us have to relearn things. But who is like your perfect right fit client, or who would be the perfect person that you would love to embrace with these projects?
Impact driven. They, again, some of the questions I mentioned before, they have a community that they know of, that they want to make an impact on. They're clear on that. And the other thing as well is that their body of work is not exactly brand new, or I would say they have what I call receipts, or they have a track record of this body of work being effective in some way. By having been taught somewhere, even if you taught this to all of the women in your church group, and all of
Right.
them saw results through your method, right? These
Yeah.
are the things I'm looking for as well, that really make for really strong candidates for what we can do to amplify your voice even further. I
So
love it. I
yeah.
love it as well if there's something that you're looking to revolutionize, right, in a
Mhm.
particular industry, and really lean into thought leadership, right? Um, Expertise is something that happens when you build up expertise, just by doing your craft, whatever it is that you master in. You become an author when you publish the things that you've become an expert in. But the areas of thought leadership is kind of like you come to the edge, right? You come to the edge of your particular industry, your expertise, whatever your area is, and you're looking out to see what else is ahead, what thoughts,
Mhm.
what new thoughts can come about as possible solutions or way to prepare for the future based on my expertise and my authorship. And so these are all fun places to really be in, and they're all essential. But I just say all that to say that if your thought leadership is leaning into something or a particular industry or a framework or infrastructure in our world that needs to be reimagined, that's just like cherry on the top.
Oh, I love it. So if you want to repurpose, reimagine, or revolutionize, you got to call Parchelle. That's what you have to do, and get in touch with her. Thank you so much for being here. This is it's enlightening for me. This is a lot of new things that I hadn't heard before, and I really, really appreciate that. And I'm hoping that that's why I wanted to shine a light on you today and just kind of bring you out there to kind of, get some activity here. And I'm so glad that we were kind of in a weird thing with your schedule, but I'm so happy you made this work for me. I appreciate this. And everybody, again, please go to the show notes. You'll see her website. So check it out, what she's doing. This is great stuff. And we're on the edge here. I feel really good about this. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time and your attention today. And everybody, thanks for joining me. And let's be in touch on, and hey, maybe I've got some course on my living and loving each day.com. I have courses on happiness and a happiness quiz and all those good things. So please do take a moment to look at that and to keep in touch. But maybe I will, if I repurpose my courses, I'll let you know that it was because of my guest that so let's be in touch about that. I'll update you. No problem. I'm happy to do
Ab-
that.
abs-
So thank you. Have safe travels. I know that you're on your way somewhere. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it so much. And everybody, thank you for joining in. Appreciate your time.